born, before she comprehends who she is in the world, a seed is sown. An innocent, loving gesture in the form of a gift is placed in her arms. With little dexterity to take grip, she's given a baby doll. A blueprint of her identity is beginning to take shape of what is expected of her. In an instant, she is going to understand what is expected of her. She learns that caregiving as a mother is a role assumed of her. So what happens when the baby girl grows up to be a woman and is rendered unable to bear children? I am her, and it hurts. It hurts to stand here and not have answers to questions that I have struggled with for 5,610 days. I know a lot about patience and hope for unfulfilled desires of the heart. You see, I have had time to reflect on my life. I have had time to contemplate on who I am. I have had time to battle with questions about fate that have thrust me into a tug of war between will and surrender, tussling with what I think I have control over and what I do not, tugging on ground that feels like quicksand. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps down. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps down. I know a lot about resilience and powering through, and frankly, I'm tired of the tugging. My hands are splintered, and I have callous hands from pulling on hope like a hangnail, and it has been painful for 134,640 hours. It was June 3rd, 2008, when my daughter died. In my pursuit of motherhood, I underwent a life-saving procedure as I carried my daughter in utero, whose death was imminent. A procedure that is a political debate. In my pursuit of motherhood, I sought fertility treatments, steeped in access and privilege, with the words failed for unfavorable outcomes, which made me feel like a failure. In my pursuit of motherhood, cancer riddled my body. Its life-saving treatments robbed me of what remained of hope and fulfilling the role of mother. I stand before you in my pain, with thousands, if not millions, of child-free women who, like me, are treading in murky waters, with mending broken hearts and feeling like a shell of themselves because they're not able to have a child, never making it back to shore, stuck on a lonely island. It is in my experience of being childless that I've had to confront, decode, and unlearn what it means to be a woman. Lost in the web of identities impressed upon me, I was committed to the conditioning of what society told me was the pinnacle of success for a woman in birthing a child. I languished while grappling with an identity that did not fit my reality in spaces absent of empathy and belonging for the childless. My spiritual, mental, and emotional health suffered and crumbled under the pressure to fit a definition of woman that tied my purpose through a binary lens couched in ableism, patriarchy, religion, capitalism, and politics. If not mother, then who am I? I've asked myself this question an infinite number of times. Who will care for me as I age? Who will inherit my things? Beneficiaries, wills. What will be my legacy if my DNA stops with me? Trapped in feeling that I had to excel in everything to prove that I had worth. A distraction from the fact that I could not produce a child. Do you see me? Am I invisible to you? Do you see me? Am I invisible to you? All too often ask the question, when are you going to have a baby? With follow-ups of, what are you doing? What have you tried? Which led to a flurry of, just do this and that, which led to a flurry of, at least, when they realized I did not have the answer. And then a chorus of sorries and offers of prayers as the final off-ramp. All unsolicited, all projecting actions on me to fix, all implying that I alone was not enough, that I was incomplete, that something was missing, that I was depreciating with time. Constant poking fingers into deep wounds. My healing work has affirmed that my inherent worth is not tied to just birthing a child. Childless women are whole just as we are. Even when we're shattered by our reality, pregnant with fears and feelings of inadequacy injected in us over and over again. We labor in life in our own ways, having to find new meaning and building a new vision for ourselves. My healing work has affirmed that my inherent worth is not tied to birthing a child. I am now nourished by a healthier fountain of hope that disrupts the notion that childless women are less, and women are more because of what their wombs bore. And I say this while believing in the sacredness of mothering. I believe that the innate divinity sewed into women, making us the magical beings that we are, did not do so solely for birthing what comes from between our hips. I believe that we have limitless capacity to birth from our hearts, our minds, our hands, our spirits, above and beyond the narrow scope of our understanding, thus exceeding our wildest imaginations. Even with this consciousness, my heart still grieves, not filling my womb with a heartbeat that turned into 5-finger pinky grabs. And I know I lack nothing because of it. And I do not know if I will ever stop grieving this loss. I long for the day when I will be able to fully accept that my road to motherhood may end in the land of never. But I have chosen not to martyr myself in pursuit of motherhood anymore. Women are more than mothers. We always were, and we always will be. The childless are invaluable contributors to the fabric of our society as aunties, sisters, daughters, friends, wives, and more. The landscape of our lives and place in this world is vast. I say this to you, and I ask of you this. Is it possible to have a fulfilled life even when the story doesn't end in the way that you imagine? Is it possible to experience contentedness despite life's disappointments? Is it still possible to experience abundance and peace of mind without children of your own? Yes, absolutely. And as I try to reframe, I choose to move forward. And I do so with conviction that I am more than a mother. I refuse to be swallowed by self-loathing. Instead, I choose to embrace joy while wrestling with hope. Do you know the courage it takes to live a life counter status quo, whether by choice or by circumstance? As the childless and the child-free carve out pockets of delight and joy and tranquility, I offer these tokens of wisdom. Do not force people to answer questions on why they do not have children. Do not add to the grief of the childless who are still tugging on hope. Do not belittle families who have chosen to fully cultivate a beautiful life being child-free. Your anticipated joy in experiencing a child through us can contribute to feelings of guilt. Nothing is an easy fix. All the unsolicited advice we've already explored, and if we haven't, that's our prerogative. We've tried to pray everything you wish for us into existence. Our reality is not an atonement for something we've done wrong, nor is it evidence of something we could have done better. Your inability to accept our childlessness is not our problem. It's hard enough to accept it for ourselves. Do not think that we are selfish. Our time is not yours because we've chosen to live a life full of joy in lieu of having a child. Shouldn't we be able to do this without shame? And two things can exist at once. Our relation for families expanding outside of our own, while at the same time feeling the sting of grief for ourselves. So do not hide your joy from us. Invite us to the celebratory events, but give us the choice to say no without explanation. Because this is where we're triggered the most. It isn't personal. For some of us, our desire may never go away, but we're trying to move forward. We already know that we would be amazing parents. We reflected on that often. Reminding us of this constantly does not make us feel any better. We still believe in miracles, even if our story did not end with one. Our miracle may be in being able to feel the void without needing to fill the void. The childless recognize that societal expectations and norms may forever elude us, as will the antiquated perception of women. We have traversed societal expectations and personal hardships to emancipate ourselves as we discover a new vision for ourselves. And for those who have gone on the transformative journey of motherhood and have become mothers, don't you know that you are more than a mother too? Remember this. You are a multifaceted individual with immeasurable worth. And for those who have chosen another path in lieu of parenthood, you are more than enough too. As I boldly declare, I am more than mother, I extend this declaration to my fellow childless and child-free women, affirming that we are more than mothers and more than enough. Let us stand united, celebrating the diverse tapestry of womanhood. Let us recognize the inherent value that each of us brings to the world. Together, we acknowledge our intrinsic worth and forge ahead, embracing a future where all women are seen, valued, and empowered to define their own narratives beyond mother. Thank you.